In this video, we'll go over the process of writing an annotated bibliography. So to start, what is an annotated bibliography? It's a list of citations to books, articles, and documents that you've read. Each citation, which is your reference, is followed by a brief, about 150 to 300 words, descriptive and evaluative paragraph, and this is the annotation. The purpose of the annotation is to inform the reader of the relevance, accuracy, and quality of the sources cited. So, an annotated bibliography is more than a summary of your reading. You must be both descriptive and critical, taking into consideration the author's point of view, authority, clarity, and evidence. Because of this, writing a good annotated bibliography requires a number of academic skills: informed research, concise exposition, and critical analysis. So, what is an annotated bibliography for? Well, they're there to help you keep track of your research. It should serve to remind you what the reading was about, but also your opinion of it. Is it useful? Why or why not? How might you apply it to your essays? You can then use this information to help you formulate a thesis on the subject you've been researching. So now that we know what an annotated bibliography is, we need to consider how to write one. What does it look like? An annotated bibliography does three things, and it should do them in this order: summarize, assess, and reflect. In your summary, paraphrase the main argument and the supporting evidence provided within your source. You should be able to formulate your summary as critic X argues Y by pointing to Z in the text. The summary should note any special or unique features about the material, such as the methodological approach taken. Once you've summarized your reading, you need to assess it. Consider audience. What type of audience is the author addressing? Is the publication aimed at a general or a scholarly audience? Is the source too elementary, too advanced, or just right for what you need? How current is the source? Is it decades out of date? Consider, criticism is a form of conversation, so how far might the conversation have moved on in 10 or 20 years? Should also look at the evidence used. Does the information appear to be valid and well researched, or is it questionable and unsupported by evidence? Consider the sources within your secondary reading. Does the author use a good mix of primary and secondary sources for information and evidence? You should also think about its place in the critical field. Are the ideas and arguments advanced more or less in line with the other works you've read on the same topic? The more radically an author departs from the views of other people in the same field, the more carefully you should consider their argument. You should also think about the clarity of the article or book chapter. Is the publication organized logically? Are the main points clearly presented? Do you find the text easy to read? Or is it stilted or choppy? Is the argument repetitive? All of these aspects go into a good assessment of the source. You don't need to put all of them into your annotated bibliography, but anything that's notable should go in. So if you feel like there's a lack of evidence, mention that. If you feel like it diverges from the critical field in a really notable fashion, you should cover that. If you think it's especially clear and therefore very useful, mention that in your assessment. Now, the final piece of an annotated bibliography is the reflection. So this is thinking about not just the quality of the source, but how useful it is to you. So how does this source fit within your research? Was it helpful to you? How does it help you to shape your argument? Can you use it in your essay or other research project? And has it changed how you think about your topic? And that's it. An annotated bibliography should just summarize, assess, and reflect upon your secondary reading to help you to work towards a larger research project like an essay.